Hello everyone and welcome to another interview. I'm the Butterfly Princess, Steph, the founder of the Butterfly Princess Initiative. You can find me on Facebook and you can also contact me via Facebook or via email butterflyprincess93@outlook.com. Today last month I did an interview with Tracy about breast screening in Greater Manchester, and today it's November, so it's more November highlighting men's health, particularly around suicide prevention, testicular cancer and prostate cancer. But today, just because it's on behalf of Anti-Cancer and they raise awareness about breast, bowel and cervical screening, I'm joined here by Johnson, who's going to talk to us about bowel screening and how accessible it is for people with various different disabilities. So hi Johnson, thank you for joining me today.
Hi Steph, thank you for the invite.
You're more than welcome. Could you tell me a bit about your role of what it is and your role and what you do in regards to bowel screening?
Yeah, I certainly can. So my name's Johnson. I'm the Bowel Cancer Screening Improvement Lead at Manchester Foundation Trust. I work at Manchester Royal Infirmary. So my role is to support and work for the Bowel Cancer Screening Programme. I'm here to improve uptake, so to try and get more people to take up bowel screening. And also one of my aims is to address some of the health inequalities associated with the screening programme.
Thank you. And now are we all right to proceed with the interview about the bowel screening programme?
Yep, certainly can.
So first question, who is eligible for bowel screening?
So in England, anyone aged between 60 and 74 are eligible for bowel screening. One of the main aims really is to obviously get people have their bowels checked. But in terms of being eligible, you have to be within that age range. You need to be registered with a GP, and you need to have a functioning bowel colon in order to take part in the screening programme. Anyone over 75 can still take part in the screening programme. They just need to phone the main bowel screening hub, which is based in Rugby, and they can request a kit, and the kit is done every 2 years. And the kit's sent to everyone's home, to their home address, and they'll receive the kit and they can do the kit in the comfort of their own homes.
Thank you. And it's really important to note, to point out that bowel cancer can start within the rectum or the colon or the bowel or the back passage, the anus. And it's really important to notice the symptoms such as bleeding in the back passage or bleeding in your stools or any changes in your bowel habits or pain or anything like that. Okay, so how does the bowel screening work and what can you expect if you've never had it before?
So if you are registered and eligible, you'll receive a kit like this. So this will come through the post, and inside the kit, this is inside the kit. So it gives you instructions on how to complete the kit. I'm not sure if you can just about see that. And in the kit, you'll receive one of these little bottles, a plastic bottle. So you unclip the bottle and you've got like a little scraper thing. So what we ask people to do in order to complete the kit is you'll get the kit automatically through the post. Before you receive the kit, you'll get an invitation letter. So the letter basically tells you you're eligible to take part. You'll receive this kit in a few days' time. It usually comes with under a week. And what you do is when you're ready to go to the toilet, you put like a container in the actual toilet bowl, a plastic container or cardboard container, or even just some layers of tissue. And then when you do your poo, hopefully it will catch it in that container. And then all you simply do is just use this little scraper, you unclick it, and you just scrape a little bit of the poo. You don't need much. And then you put it back into the bottle. And then you'll also get this prepaid envelope, which I'll just about see there. So it's a prepaid envelope. You pop it into the envelope, seal it up, and it's a free post. And you just pop it straight into the post office, and it goes back to the lab, and they will test your sample to find out whether it's come back as normal, or whether it's abnormal, or if it's come back as positive. One of the important things to do is when you do complete the kit is just to write the sample date. It's really important that that's on there, otherwise you'll have to complete another kit. So the main aim really is to obviously complete the kit in the comfort of your own home, in your bathroom. And, you know, it's a really simple, easy and hygienic way of completing the kit at home.
Well, yeah, thank you. And what is done to make sure and enable that the screening kits are accessible for people with a range of disabilities such as British Sign Language, BSL and Easy Read materials?
Yep, so we have a whole range of information available. So you can contact the hub and they can provide things like a video with British Sign Language. They have diagrams and pictures in large print, so it's easily read and understood. All information can also be requested in large print and text to enable people to understand and read. We also have various videos that can be accessed from the NHS and the www.gov website. And these leaflets are produced in different languages, which can help those where English may not be their first language. What we found since the introduction of this new kit in 2019, that there has been a real big increase in the number of people that are completing the kit. So there's about a 10% increase. Yeah, because previously, because this kit was only introduced in 2019, before this new kit was introduced, we had an old kit where you had to provide 3 samples over 3 consecutive days, and the kit was a little bit fiddly, it was a bit unhygienic, and it was simply quite difficult for people to complete. So with the new kit, we found it's a lot easier, and obviously more people are taking part in doing the kit, which is, you know, fantastic news for us.
That's really good news, because people are sort of like wary of screening, especially when with breast screening, and sort of like uptake's not very high. So it's really positive to that, you know, bowel screening uptake's up by 10% because of these new kits. Okay, so if somebody has any concerns about attending the bowel screening or doing the bowel screening, is there anyone we can contact to talk through these concerns with?
Yep, so you can contact the Bowel Screening Hub. It's a free phone number. I'll give this number again at the end of the interview, but the number to call is 0800 707 6060. And they're your first point of call, really, for any help or assistance. Alternatively, you could contact your local community learning disability nurse, who can also provide help and guidance on how to complete the kit, or even your local district nurse or GP can also provide some help on how to complete the kit. We have found that some people with certain disabilities may find it difficult to actually close the lid. So the hub, if you contact them, do have a little special device that can help people close the actual sample container itself.
Thank you. And if the screen, obviously with the screening programme, because like especially people with disabilities, they may have high levels of anxiety, mental health issues. So if the screening does detect anything abnormal or untoward, does that necessarily mean, oh, it's cancer? Or is it just something, or is it not necessarily cancer? Or
no, yeah, not really. No, it's simply enough. No, the one, if it's come back positive or abnormal, it simply means that the kit has found traces, very minute traces of blood in your poo, and that could mean anything really. Until the consultants have had a look inside your bowel, there's no way really to determine where that blood's come from and whether it is something like cancer. It could mean many other things. So it's important really to have that bowel checkup, because otherwise no one's really going to be able to find out what's wrong with you. The kit is really for people who don't have any symptoms. So the idea really is to try and prevent anything from happening or coming up in the long run, and to try and do it now where treatment is more effective. So that is one of the main aims really of the bowel cancer screening programme, is trying to prevent long-term illnesses from developing. So when you receive the kit, obviously you complete the kit at home, and then you send it off into the post, and then they'll send you a letter in about a week or 2 weeks' time to say whether it's a positive or whether it's a negative test. If it is positive or abnormal, you'll receive another letter which details a consultation with one of our specialist screening nurses. So the nurse will contact you and speak to you about having a bowel checkup. They'll assess your health. They'll maybe look at your medical records, speak to GPs or other consultants, and they will determine whether you're fit enough to take part in the next step of the screening programme, which is having your bowel checkup, or otherwise known as having a colonoscopy. So the colonoscopy is basically a camera on a really thin tube that goes up your back passage, and they'll look inside your bowels to identify where the blood traces have come from. And what they're looking for is this something called polyps. Polyps,
yeah.
Polyps are very
non-cancerous, and sometimes they can be harmless as well.
That's correct, yeah. So sometimes the growths inside your bowels, these polyps, sometimes they can be cancerous, sometimes they can't, they may not be, but it's an opportunity for the consultants to quickly remove them while that camera is inside your bowel. So if they see it, they'll usually take it off straight away. So it doesn't hurt, and it's a very quick procedure. The colonoscopy takes around about 25-30 minutes in total. So it's a very quick procedure. And what people say is that the procedure itself is quite easy and simple to do. It's the bowel prep that you have to take, which people find to be the most difficult, because it's a laxative that you need to drink to clear out your system.
Yeah.
It doesn't taste very, I mean, I've had it done, it doesn't taste very nice at all, and most people find that the hardest part.
Yeah, that's understandable. So in terms of developing bowel cancer for disabled people, is that higher or lower compared to the rest of the general population?
In terms of, we know people with disabilities usually have poor health outcomes anyway. So more does need to be done to kind of raise that awareness, really, in terms of looking after your bowels. One of the things that we try and inform people really is not to eat too much red meat, particularly processed meat. try and cut down on things like sausages and bacon, all the processed meats that aren't really good for our bowels or our colons. Also, we try to highlight the need to eat more fruit and vegetables, to exercise more regularly, and some of these things can, really help us improve and look after our health, our bowels. Cutting down on alcohol, not smoking, they're also prime examples of how people can develop issues with their bowels. But going back to your question, I think there was a research study done in 2017 which looked at women particularly and why they were not participating in bowel or the breast cancer screening program. We did find that less women were taking part, and the main reasons for that was because of visual issues and because of their kind of physical disabilities and issues with self-care were one of the reasons why not so many people took part. But at the moment, information is limited around not just the uptake, but the limited around if there is a difference between more people with disabilities being prone to having bowel cancer than those without disabilities. But in Greater Manchester, or no, in particularly in the Northwest, we find that there's not much of a difference between people with a disability and those without a disabilities who are taking part in the bowel cancer screening program. There's only a difference of around 5%, which is really encouraging. And it, compared to other screening programs, we're quite fortunate that quite a large number of people still take part in the bowel cancer screening program. But more awareness is needed, and it's obviously great to have this interview to address that awareness and to work with partners. And yeah, lots been done, particularly in Greater Manchester, to try and address that. And hopefully, with working with GPs and other partners like yourself, we can overcome those difficulties that people with learning disabilities or physical disabilities may have with taking part in the screening programme.
So thank you. And just to finish off, is there any messages you'd like to share with viewers who may be watching this and that we can take away from this interview?
Yeah, certainly. Some of the key messages really is don't be afraid of taking part in this kit, in this screening programme. As we know, the NHS is amazing, and not every health provider provides support in terms of screening. As I already mentioned, screening is to help prevent long-term illnesses. And obviously, if they do find something, then we've got one of the best treatments, and one of the, the advances that we have in technology these days, particularly around health, is fantastic. And if you do need treatment, we often find that if we do find anything like cancer and it's in its early stages, we know that if it's identified at stage 1 or stage 2, then we know that there's an 80 and 90% chance of surviving more than 10 years. If it's identified a bit later down the line, then those chances are limited. So we do encourage people to not disregard their screening kit. I know people do find it maybe a bit embarrassing to ask for help, or they may be a bit fearful what they might find, which is completely understandable. But we're here from the screening programme, from the hub. All our nurses and consultants are really well trained in the bowel screening. They have to take lots of additional qualifications and examinations. For example, our consultants need to do over 1,000 scopes, so they have to undertake over 1,000 colonoscopies before they're even allowed to be working under the screening programme. All the nurses, they're fully understandable, and it's the reasons why the bowel screening programme is a gold standard service. So we have the highest quality standards, and the programme is supportive of everyone really, and we make all the necessary steps to ensure people are supported and helped along the way as best as possible.
Thank you, Johnson, and I've really learned something valuable today. I hope our viewers and listeners will. I would just like to say, to finish off, on behalf of Butterfly Princess and Anti-Cancer, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today, and thank you very much. Thank
you very much, Steph. It's a pleasure to talk to you, and it's brilliant to hear some of the amazing work you do. Just to finish off, the Bowel Cancer Screening Hub, that if anyone needs to contact, if you want a new kit, or if you're unsure when your next invite date is 0800 707 6060. Thank you very much.
Thank you.